We got our table now.
There's just something about this. I just want to go.
3D! Now we're looking legit here. And we got a very special episode here.
It's like midweek. What day is it? NXT, their takeover, known as
NXT Rival. Tonight was a very exciting evening for wrestling fans. It really was. And
super good.
It was just an overall great show. What do you thoughts just real quick on the NXT arena and that crowd at Full Sail University?
It has to be one of the most engaging audiences that they have at any sort of event on the WWE schedule.
You want to compare it to ECW crowds almost, but you can't. They're probably even better than ECW crowds.
They do start NXT chants, which is
They do start NXT
cool.
chants, yes. We need a 2G1B chant.
2G1B, 2G1B, 2G1B.
So the opening match was Tyler Breeze, Mr. Selfie himself, versus Hideo Itami.
Let's give our rankings real quick. I feel like this is going to be...
Actually, I'm going to go thumb up, thumbs down.
Wow, I'm going to go 2 thumbs up. I thought we were going to do this a lot today.
He's brand new to the product. I've been watching. I try to keep up with it as much as I can. At least see the new episode once a week. And we've seen this match before, and it wasn't as good. This was better than their tournament opening round match. But overall, it still lacked a little bit, and I don't blame Hideo because his offense is probably some of the best offense in wrestling.
I was going to say, he definitely stole his show that entire time, and I feel like Tyler Breeze was just there.
Right. But working with the other competitors is going to be a struggle, obviously, with his, roots to Japan and everything like that. Yeah. It's going to be tough. Communication's going to be a little bit tough.
Definitely one of the best ways to start a match, a high-energy match like those guys had.
And crowd loved Hideo. Yeah. They're all over him tonight. So let's real quick, I just want to get your thoughts on Tyler Breeze real quick. Him as like a future star and him going forward from him on.
I don't see him anything past mid-card in his whole entire life.
Yeah, unless the main roster.
Unless he gets a different gimmick and maybe works a little bit on his in-ring stuff. If he can do that, he might be able to be a main eventer. But until then, just don't see him going too far.
What do you think about Hideo Itami and his stock going forward? Do you see him going to the main roster before summertime or anything like that? What are your thoughts on Hideo?
I don't know when he'll go to the main roster. I just like the way he is right now down there. I don't know if he'd get over with the main event.
The main roster.
The main event roster.
Because the way he came into NXT, I thought was also...
I feel like he has a lot of pressure on him, too.
Mm-hmm. A lot. Baron Corbin versus Bull Dempsey, no DQ
let's do our rankings real quick. I'm going to give it a half and a down.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go half and a down. It was definitely the weakest match of the night. And I don't... Because I do like Baron Corbin. Bull Dempsey, not so much.
Yeah, I thought Baron was the best part of it, but Bull just kind of brought him back.
Lucky enough, it was a short match, but too many botches. Hopefully, they can move past this and they can go and they can do something different where they get some better in-ring guys.
Out of these two guys, which one do you see on the main roster in the next 2 years?
Baron Corbin, for sure. I don't think Bull Dempsey's going to make it at all. He works to a point. I think he's decent on the mic. Tough as nails, but like I said, a match like tonight proves that no matter who he goes up against, he's going to have a tough time in the ring. But we'll go on to the Tag Team Championship match between the Lucha Dragons and the champion Murphy and Blake, Buddy Murphy and Wesley Blake.
You want to give your rankings?
Yeah.
I'm going to go up and a half.
I'm going to go up and a down.
It would be 2 thumbs up if there wasn't like as many botches as there was, I think. It was very high energy.
Very high energy.
These guys seem to work well together, which is a good thing for a tag team division.
I do like their finisher too. Blake and Murphy, the kind of like almost brain buster suplex into the frog splash. I really enjoyed that. The thing with Sin Cara and Kalisto is I think they're credible in the ring talent. I have yet to see them on the mic except for one time after they won the championships at the Fatal 4-Way NXT TakeOver.
But do you think that's
the only time I've seen it? And I think that it's almost like they're only going to go so far with these guys.
Do you think it's because they don't have the skill to be on the mic, or do you think it's because they're luchadors and luchadors are notorious for not speaking on the mic as much?
Well, and that's the problem. Do you have to go the same route that it was before, or are you going to try to twist it up and different? Then this is when the night started getting epic. epic, very epic, and became one of the biggest nights in recent memory. The next match was the number one contenders tournament final between Finn Balor and Adrian Neville. Ranks,
two thumbs up.
This was incredible. This was the best match since the triple threat at the Royal Rumble Championship match, bar none, without a doubt. Those are the two matches that have very stand out. This match and that triple threat so far in 2015. I thought this match was the match of the night.
Let's start from the beginning. His intro may be one of the longest intros we've ever seen, but it is one of the craziest, best intros we've ever seen. That wig thing he wears and just how dark it is and how he blends in is incredible.
And the fact that he does it only for these live specials, he only does it on certain occasions.
Yeah.
And then when he does put the paint on and does do the entrance, his character changes as well. It's captivating. That's the word I thought.
Yeah, I think if he did it like every night, it might not
it wouldn't
be as good.
Far.
But
Finn Balor ended up winning after he hit the double stomp from the top rope.
I think one of the best parts when Neville tried hitting the red arrow.
Yes.
And Finn Balor brought his knees up
and rolled him up. I thought that was the end.
I thought that was the end too. Like, the crowd went crazy.
And then
that was some of the best crowd reaction of all night. And that crowd was excellent too.
These guys are such stars. Literally their stare down at the beginning of the match it made me open my eyes and shake my head like, holy cow, these two guys are really good. It was almost like a spectacle kind of match.
And that's always a tough decision, is which one of these guys do you want to put over?
Exactly.
Because they're both so good. But I mean, I guess since they're giving Finn his title shot, which is a very, very good.
Some other highlights of the match was him drop kicking him through the barricade and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty badass.
A lot of out of the ring stuff, which was
absolutely.
Really,
Just real quick, what do you think of Adrian Neville? Do you see him going to the main roster after this? Have you seen his last match in NXT? What do you think of Adrian?
I don't think it was his last match last night by any means. I don't know how long it'll be before he goes to the main roster, but he's definitely going there. And he definitely has the potential to be a number one guy. Not technically the number one guy as soon as he gets there.
Like a Cena or so,
but eventually he'll work his way up.
I think he's going to go to the main roster very soon. But
what's your definition
it's not going to be before WrestleMania. It's not going to be before WrestleMania.
What's your definition of very soon? I see it in the next year.
I think the night after WrestleMania is when he debuts. That's my prediction. I'm not going to completely go for it and everything like that. We'll move on now to
this
was an incredible match. The Fatal 4-Way match for the NXT Women's Championship. Women's Championship, not
Divas. So you want to give our rankings real quick? I'm going to give it 1.5.
Woo, I'm going to go 2 thumbs straight up. I thought it was
only because Charlotte didn't win.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Sasha did have a really cool moment in the bitch corner, as it's known. You want to go ahead and let them know what it was?
She did the move where she gets on the top and she drops her knees to her opponent, but she stacked them up where Becky was on the bottom rope and Charlotte was on the middle rope, and she went through them both. It was very bad. It was probably the highlight offensively for Sasha Banks. She was probably the best in the ring tonight, simply because the way she sold moves.
Talking about Sasha?
Yes.
I'd put her as number 3.
Number 3 overall in the performance, you're saying? In the match?
Yeah, in that match.
Okay, that's fair.
I'd put Bayley ahead of her.
What do you think of this women's match compared to a WWE Divas match?
The whole match itself, or just
the whole match itself, the dynamic of the Fatal 4-Way, the ability of all these women, everything.
It was all that put together. This is better than any Divas match we've seen in a long time. Probably the last time I was really interested in the Divas division was when AJ took the belt, or Paige took the belt from AJ.
I think if you put the whole roster of Divas on WWE, none of them, I literally mean none of them, and all due respect to them, none of them have had a match like this. None of them.
No, it was a great match.
And even Paige, and I enjoy Paige. I think Paige is the best in WWE today. She hasn't had a match like this.
I think one thing that really helped was the camera angles they got for it. That made it look so perfect.
NXT production, you guys get two thumbs up. NXT production was great. The pyro was on. The lights were on. The camera work was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. To what we really want to talk about, which is the future of the former champion.
Was that Charlotte's last match?
Her last match, yes, but not her last appearance in NXT. I think she comes back and she does maybe some on the mic and officially announces something happening. I think it was her last match, but not her last appearance. What do you think?
I think what's going to happen is after Fastlane, she's going to come up and challenge whoever the Divas champion is, whether it be Paige or be Nikki.
And you think she's going to get a championship match at Mania?
Yes.
I believe so, too. Out of all the competitors that wrestled here tonight, the one that's probably going to be on the main roster first is Charlotte. Yes, this was the main event for the NXT Championship. It was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Want to give our rating on this match?
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs straight up. It wasn't as good as the Baylor Neville match, I'll give it that, but it was close.
I think it could have been better if the ending didn't suck so much ass.
I think what the ending was and what made it still an amazing match was the storytelling. Now, this match was about 5 or 6 years in the making.
It was definitely worth it, though.
And I think that's why it told that kind of story. It wasn't so much like spot after spot after spot. It was a story. It was a build-up to the match. Kevin Owens dominated for most of the match. But
Zayn had some pretty good parts.
Zayn had some great moments, though, where he jumped over the ref and did his
That was
dive.
freaking
that was
crazy.
Sick. Then Kevin Owens kind of shoulder breaker to his knee.
But it looked like it hit his head, though.
It kind of looked like it hit his head, but that was just a little execution thing. I thought that move was freaking insane.
The brawling ability of Kevin Owens really shined tonight.
It was insane. He was hitting him. Now, granted, these guys are really good friends, so there's a trust there, but he was wailing on him.
Yeah, it was pretty stiff.
It's very stiff. The ending he gave, I think it was like 8 or 7 power bombs in a row. And earlier in the match, Zayn bumped his head after doing a dive. Had a concussion feel for the rest of the match. And he took 7 straight power bombs, and his medical staff comes over. The referee's looking at him. They're looking into his eyes.
I feel like that's where the match went south, is when they made... they turned Kevin Owens into Brock Lesnar.
Which, that's kind of what his gimmick was. And that's...
Yeah, but...
going to upset some people, and I understand.
I mean, it's okay, but... It's just not what I would prefer.
It's kind of a copy. He's gonna get the Brock Lesnar reference,
but at least he shows up
quite a bit. Yeah.
Talks on the mic himself.
It was trying to be kind of like MMA like, so I thought that was a good adaptation of his character, because he's fight Owens fight. You fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, and the key word is fight. So I think when you get an ending like this, a KO ending, which. KO, Kevin Owens won by KO. I thought that was kind of funny.
Is it KO or TKO? Because I don't think
technically that was TKO if you're going to go by the rules. Technically.
All right. How about this question? The next 5 people to go to the main event roster. This is supposed to be in order.
Oh, it's supposed to be in order. Then it's Charlotte, Adrian Neville, then actually probably Finn Balor, then Adrian Neville and Kevin Owens.
How would you feel about an NXT TakeOver on Raw? A whole episode.
A whole episode, it wouldn't work.
You don't think so?
A whole episode, maybe an hour. Give him an hour.
Give him the first hour?
Give him the first, or maybe in the middle hour, the 9 to 10. You couldn't do the whole episode. 3 hours of just pure NXT, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, but you could have like NXT guys face main event roster guys.
True, but you can't. I wouldn't want them to do a gimmick Raw. What I would want them to do is do it for a pay-per-view, but just keep the pay-per-view the same name and don't say it's the NXT TakeOver. By the way, Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens, a la Prince Devitt versus Kevin Steen, has never happened before.
It's going to be crazy.
Ever happened before. Alrighty.
All right, but that was
overall thoughts on the show. Let's give the people what they want.
2 thumbs up.
4 thumbs straight up from 2 guys, 1 belt.
I wish I had another arm so it could be 5 thumbs.
Aggie gives it 2 thumbs straight up.
That's 6 thumbs.
It confuses me. It gets me thinking a lot. But NXT is its own monster. It's
the best monster out there too.
And it is. It's way better, way better than the main roster. It's almost like. You can't live in denial. Don't try to say that, Raw can compete with an NXT show. It can't. Even Royal Rumble had the triple threat match, and even had the Royal Rumble match. I thought this show was better than that show. And 1 less hour.
I mean, we can get into the whole thing of saying that they have more time to prepare for NXT than they do Raw and stuff like that. But anyways, we are
2 guys in there, 1 belt there.
1 belt, then like us on the Facebook, the Twitter, the Vines.
Fine. At 2 guys, 1 belt. 2G1B, 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 2G1B.